Where do all the dreams go when we wake up? And above all, when did Socks team up with Chameleon and learn the camouflage techniques? And the Alexanders realized that while it's impossible to find an answer for the last two questions, well, it is not for the first one. And they explained their results. Let's start with why big-brained females survive better than the small-brained ones. The Alexanders rule out as a possible explanation that female biggies age more gracefully than female tinies. By the end of the experiment, all the guppies are in fact between 300 and 360 days old, meaning that they are way younger than the minimum life expectancy of guppies, which is of about 400 days. The researchers then rule out also that big-brained females survived longer than small-brained ones, because biggies were better than the tinies at finding food. Alex and Fellas, as I said before, fed the guppies once a day, and they provided the fishes so much food that it is impossible that even the dumb ones couldn't find it and therefore died of starvation. So, why females biggies are better survivalists than the tinies? The Alexanders say that the most probable explanation is that the females with big brains are way better at escaping predators than females with small brains. Okay, but why? Well, let's see how the predator-prey dynamic work in the Alexanders scenario. The pike cichlids, the carnivorous fish that feed on guppies in the streams inside the tank, well, this vicious swimmer is a predator that uses the ambush strategy. In short, this finny hunter waits while hiding in its shelter, the clay pipes in the deepest areas of the streams, and then zap! It attacks when it sees a guppy coming nearby above it. To defend themselves from this kind of threat, guppies stage the predator inspection behavior. Basically, when the predator is spotted, usually one or two guppies swim in its direction until a bunch of body lengths away. Once in position, the audacious scouts spend some seconds gathering information about the identity and the position of the predator and about its tendency to attack. The inspection, besides, possibly prevents the attack itself because it makes the ambushing predator aware of the fact that it has been noticed by its prey, and therefore that it has lost the precious advantage of surprise. Once done the inspection, the guppies on reconnaissance slowly go back to their fellows to transmit them the informations. So, say that, the Alexanders hypothesized that big-brained females master the predator inspection behavior while small-brained females don't. A bigger brain, the researchers think, gives higher cognitive abilities that are those which allow a brain to perform better at reasoning, remembering, understanding, and problem-solving. So, as for the hunted lady guppies, the big-brained females have stronger cognitive abilities and therefore they can gather, process, and remember information faster and longer. Thus, the smart ladyfishes can perform shorter and fewer inspections than the female tinies. So, to summarize, the less you show off around your predator, the higher your probabilities to survive are. Well, unless you are an annoying little yellow Tweety bird. Then you can survive even a nuclear blast 3 centimeters away from you, because you are an evil, annoying little yellow darn Tweety bird. And I hate you. I think it's time for a commercial break now.
Do you feel to be the one empty-headed personification of Dumb and Dumber? Do you feel to be to intelligence and memory what a red salmon in spandex is to acid jazz? Try Braining, the pill that will dope your neurons and make your synapses so pumped up that they will finally beat your house nail at Iron Fist. Braining, you'll no longer forget things. Braining, you'll no longer forget things. Braining, you'll no longer forget things.
Okay, so there are two more questions to answer about the results of the experiment of our mates, the Alexanders. 1. Why, unlike the females, big-brained and small-brained males of guppies have the same rate of survival? And 2. Why female guppies live longer than males? Answer 1. Males of guppies are colorful, females not much. This happens because males use colors to attract females for mating. Moreover, big-brained males are more colorful than small-brained ones, and the Alexanders say that it may be due I quote, to a genetic correlation between brain size and coloration. So in short, the more color on your skin, the easier it is for a predator to see you, the higher the risk for you to get caught, swallowed and killed. So even if your bigger brain makes you better with the inspection stuff, well, if you are as stealthy as fireworks on the nose of Pinocchio after he has just broken the local galactic group record of lies telling, well, pal, you have the same chance to survive of one of your swimming mates with a brain with the size of a moon. Okay, time to answer to the question 2. Why female guppies live longer than males? Well, simply put, females of guppies are not much colored, and whichever the size of their brain be, they have bigger bodies and can swim faster and longer than males. Therefore, when you are a guppy, if you are a female, you have higher probabilities to evade predation than if you are a male. Ah, hooray! Answer mission accomplished! Well, indeed, if you look better in the closet of intellect, right in the drawer of curiosity, well, you find another one of them questions. And possibly the really basic one, that is, why Alex and his colleagues put on all this show with artificial streams, thousands of fishes, months of work, and a wild bunch of carnivorous predators? Well, the band of Alex wants to know whether and how evolution favors bigger brains. To understand this, the Alexanders investigate how a big brain increases the fitness of its owner. And by fitness, I'm not speaking about having muscular dorsal fins or curvy, squat-sculpted, yummy caudal fins. Nope. By fitness, I mean the chance a living being has to survive to generate a viable offspring. So Alex and colleagues know already from former studies that, and I quote again, large-brained birds species have higher survival in the wild, and they are better at colonizing urban environments compared to small-brained species. Also, several large-brained species of mammals, birds, and reptiles are more likely to establish viable population after introduction events compared to small-brained species. Our friend scientists, in other words, are aware of the cognitive buffer hypothesis. The idea is that a big brain is a buffer against the environment. In other words, a big brain and the cognitive abilities that it provides make it easier for its owner to find the right thing to do when challenged. Therefore, a big brain is a wonderfully useful tool for animals to try to live another day. Now, the Alexanders also know that evidences for the buffer hypothesis come from comparative studies among different species, and that they regard microevolution, that is, evolution at a species level. What is missing, Alex and coworkers think, is an experiment that tested buffer hypothesis within one species, at the single individual level. Therefore, the Alexanders design and perform their experiment, the experiment I just told you. And thanks to the evidences they find, the researchers can eventually conclude that, and I quote for the last time, I swear, natural selection favors individuals with larger brains, at least under certain conditions, and survival under predation is an important selective force in the evolution of vertebrate brain size. And that's all, guppies and folks. Have a nice day, sleep well, good afternoon, and ciao! Till next time!
Science man, come out and play. Science man, come out and play. Science man, come out and play.